downrange. Like if you're on a flat range and I'm going to go forward to the firing line, it's downrange.
Yeah, where bullets are flying.
Yeah.
And so you've been deployed to combat a whole crap load of times. And I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions about what is the fitness scene like for people who serve in the U.S. military here stateside at decently well-equipped foreign bases on Allied soil, and then also like in a foxhole that you dug with a shovel. Do you bring like a dumbbell in there? Is there a protein bar available? We'll talk all about that. And then we'll talk about some mindset stuff, because you're a bit of a mindset specialist. And specifically the mindset stuff I have to ask you is going to be kind of like, what are the good and not so good mindsets that you take into various stages of your combat training? Beginning, starting to catch some wind under your sails, and then that real perilous time where you think you know things, but maybe you could be doing better. Big mindset stuff. Mm-hmm. That all good with you?
Absolutely.
Yahoo. All right.
Looking forward to it.
All right. So what tactical training should look like? Regular police, SWAT, fire rescues on there, and absolutely every single person who plans on holding a weapon in any military force on Earth. This is the very top line of what they should be doing. And how can we possibly recommend, you and I, what people should be doing? We have to start kind of, I don't want to say first principles, but we have to start with, what is it that we're actually doing in combat? And yes, we are treating police interactions with perpetrators as combat, because hopefully they're not combat. But what you train for is to be ready for when shit goes as far south as possibly it can, versus like, oh, this will just be a nice person and I'll get their cat out of the tree and shake their hand. So this is kind of this area of combat doctrine as I understand it. I'm a total dilettante. I never went to school for this. It's just all make-believe nonsense. I'm a nerd. I watch a lot of YouTube. This is it. So what we're training for in tactical combat training, please correct me if I'm wrong at any point. Feel free to embellish at any point.
Sure.
We are looking for just a few things. The ability to defend against resistance. The ability to move freely around resistance, which means away from it. So you have to be able to haul ass. Like your physical body has to be able to haul ass. Let's say you're a cop. You get out of your vehicle. You draw on what you think is one individual. Turns out it's a gang. Now you're getting 4 guys shooting at you. You have to be able to egress quickly. If you physically can't move your body really fast, it's going to be a bad time. You have to be able to move around resistance. Someone is holed up shooting at you. You got to be able to move laterally in order to get the good angle on them. And you have to, what do you guys call it? Pushing up. Yep. You got to be able to move toward resistance. And generally, the more athletically you can move in those circumstances, the higher the probability that things go not very poorly for you. Agreed so far?
Agree.
You're also training. So far we're like, okay, so you're just like an athlete. You're like a track runner or a gymnast, all same.
Yeah, same.
But there's another layer, which is the ability to impose coercive or deadly force against resistance. And coercive force just means like putting someone down to the ground, putting them into handcuffs. Deadly force means the obvious. Mm-hmm. And in modern combat doctrine, or sort of combat theory, the way that this works is in concentric circles that start at your body and move out. So the closest combat you can possibly have to yourself is grappling. Jiu-jitsu, wrestling, judo, etc. About a few feet out is striking, kicking, punching, etc. You can't grab them, but you can sure as shit punch them or kick them. With police forces, punching and kicking is looked down upon. With combat operations, yeah, if you can't get to a knife or whatever, like that's what's going to be happening. So far, so good?
Yeah, sometimes you got to be able to create space.
For sure. For sure.
The way to do it to strike.
Yes. We're talking about also becoming able to use handheld weaponry, non-projectile weaponry, knife, club, whatever it may be. You have projectile weaponry, tasers, handguns for police, everything for everyone else. And you have to be able to coordinate with teams. It's probably one of the biggest weapons you have as a human who is in a really difficult situation, as a police officer, as a military person. It's not just you. Sometimes it is. A lot of times it's, what team assets do I have next to me? How do I communicate with the guys? How do I get other guys to come help me? And that means fellow local responders. You have potential for kind of distant responders, like if you have sniper cover, that's really nice. And of course, not so much for police, but more for military guys. You called into weapons platform operators, vehicles, armor, aircraft, drones, because like it's not just an army of one. You could be like, there's a lot of shit in that building we don't like. Get rid of it. Shit happens. That's all of what you do in combat, more or less. Other than medical and evac procedures and comms, is there anything left over? Is there any
Planning
kind
and
of
training for
combat?
contingencies.
What's an example of a contingency?
We'll say you're doing a helicopter insertion and you have 2 to make 1, meaning you're playing on 2 birds, one gets shot down. You still continue mission. What do? Land a second helo, offload everybody who's still able to go? Do you have to bring in a backup aircraft to pull those guys out? All those things have to go. If it's a vehicle operation, the exact same thing as a bump plan. So if vehicle 3 goes down, all those half the vehicles are going to vehicle 4, half packs are going to vehicle 2.
Sure.
Be able to rep all those out so they happen automatically.
Sure.
Because if not, you got 65 guys on the ground, they hit an IED, now work it out. If you haven't planned and rehearsed all that, it's not going to be cleaning. It is absolute chaos because now you don't know the external threats.
Sure.
Now you get hit an IED and now people start shooting at you. Now solve the problem.
Sure.
If you don't know, the driver, the passenger, and the turret gunner are all going to vehicle 2 if anything happens. If everybody doesn't know that, there's a huge gap and it ain't going to get better when they start shooting at you.
Right, 100%.
You got to be able to solve it quick.
100%. Beautiful. Okay. So we add that in. Is there a police equivalent of that? I suppose there is.
Yeah, there is. Responses for backup and contingency operations for anything else.
Sure.
If you're doing an assault and one guy goes down primary entry, what do they typically do? They typically pull back.
Yes.
Like, not going to be a hard assault. They're not going to keep advancing forward.
Right.
But you have to know that if you don't know it and one guy rushes in, you've committed this entire assault force now to this.
Yes.
Because you didn't know the proper steps.
Yeah, you're like, Bob, come back.
Too late now, you got to follow him in. Now you've committed the entire force.
You can't just do one of these. Like, it's good. We never really liked Bob. Anyway.
Yeah.
What is the, well, I'm not going to say this word. It's the C word they use in Australia and the UK all the time.
I love that word.
Bob's a C word.
Bob's a C word. Hard T.
Hard T, which is real bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for all of these demands, we have a few different types of training that can make us better at them. And this is kind of cool because we have all these demands, and the next layer of shit I'm going to talk about, confirm with you, of course, please correct anything I say that's wrong, is going to be a smaller list. Because it turns out that a lot of the stuff that you have to do is attended to by one type of training can attend to 3 different kinds of things. So we're already seeing a consolidation. And then we'll have another consolidation after this. So be like, okay, in the real world, how do I really train? Because I'm about to list a lot of stuff. And then some folks listening could be like, okay, so I'm a police officer. I have administrative duties. I have patrol duties, like my actual job. And you're telling me that I have to train all of this stuff you're about to say on top of that? And what I'm going to say is sort of, but a lot of it gets condensed into something that actually doesn't take a trillion years to do. So training types. Whole body strength power for all movement. Your body has to be able to exert high forces and rapidly if necessary. And it has to be able to do this with single or multiple efforts all the way to endurance. So not only do you have to be able to like pull a suspect down on the ground really hard, you also have to kind of half sprint towards a guy you didn't get and chase him down and everything in between.
Yep.
And whole body strength and power training and whole body endurance training, just 2 kinds of training, kind of cover almost all the things you need to do as far as with your human body. There's a little bit more to that because then there's the locomotion side. So you do some kind of locomotion training, which means typically my preference as a sports scientist is with gear weight plus. You want to stay close to your total gear weight that you would have on average, but on the high end. Why? Correct me if anything of this just makes no sense in the real world.
Good.